So I need to spend just a few minutes talking about the old John Titor time travel story for a second, or for a few minutes. A second of Jason at 4 time is several minutes in real time. I've been watching like a hawk. Brazil Olympics, they're going to get canceled. And more stuff keep kind of creeping out that's pointing to there's definitely a possibility of it happening. And I said before, I understand Titor said 2008 and all that, but he also said he left some things like some nuggets, some Easter eggs that no one ever caught, no one ever picked up on. And to this day, I have no idea. I've reread, and I can't see what kind of Easter egg he laid, so to speak. But nonetheless, if he threw these timelines way off, on purpose, all I care about right now is one thing. If these Olympics are postponed, like they don't happen, in other words, not only do they not happen in Brazil, but they don't get, postponed for a minute. We're going to do them in another country as a backup plan. In other words, you know what? The whole world, 2016, we're just not going to do Olympics this year. We just got problems, and I don't care what the reason is. If these Olympics don't happen this year, it's time for me to bust out my emails I sent myself many years ago, which copied the entire John Titor story, and kind of go over them again. I did a 3 or 4 part series a little while back where I basically read you all his predictions in like 3 or 4 videos. Like each day I think I did 1 video or something like that. And I'll basically do the same thing to refresh everybody's memory. Matter of fact, I might even just re-upload the 4 I did. I mean, I'm pretty much reading word for word, but at the same time, I probably shouldn't. I should redo them all because so many things could have happened by that time. And as I'm reading John Titor stuff, oh my God, that sticks out. Oh my God, that sticks out. Yet a year and a half, whatever ago, 2 years ago when I did the videos, it didn't stand out then. For example, the Rio Olympics in 2016, possibly not happening. This is from Zero Hedge. Taiwanese animators ask, who wants to die attending the Rio Olympics? Interesting comment. Hot on the heels of Brazilian soccer star Rivaldo's warning to stay home, your life is at risk, the Taiwanese animators have created a public service announcement that Brazil should just cancel the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro because no one really wants to die attending them. This is very short, by the way. The 2016 games will start on August 5th with City of God director Fernando Meirelles overseeing the opening ceremony. But what else is there to look forward to? Rio is rampant with crime. After a 17-year-old girl was gunned down in the streets, Brazilian football legend Rivaldo warned tourists to stay away. If gangs don't kill you, then maybe Rio's poorly constructed bike paths or any of the other hastily constructed Olympics infrastructure will. And if that doesn't kill you, the polluted water will make you wish you were dead anyway. If you somehow survive Rio, you can always look forward to catching the Zika virus or participating in a worldwide outbreak. In the May issue of the Harvard Public Health Review, University of Ottawa professor Emir Adaran said Brazil should cancel the games. So that's 2 people now. He argued that 500,000 are tourists expected to attend the games and they could take Zika virus home with them, precipitating a worldwide outbreak. So I just pulled up a little bit of John Titor just to kind of just read you a couple before and after he made that comment. January 29th, 2001. Actually, let me go up. That's the actual Olympics one. Let me go up one. This is a lengthy one. He just makes a comment. 29th of January, 2001. Please keep in mind the website is not mine and I apologize for the poor quality of the files. The photo you saw was taken by me with the Polaroid camera manufactured here in this world line, according to him. The other documents were duplicated by placing a book onto a copy machine at a packaging and shipping store and then scanning and saving them. As for the printing technology in 2036, you may be surprised at how many people use typewriters. However, I agree the documents were probably not created that way. I too am very anxious to hear your thoughts and questions on time travel or gravity displacement and any comments on the Everett Wheeler Graham model. Then his next comment. Same day, a little bit later. Although the documents posted were printed from a computer printer, is it really that hard to believe that manual typing is just a bit more common in 30 years? After the war, many things like manual printing machines, bicycles, sailboats, and hand tools were valued a great deal. I have noticed more people in California are installing wood-burning stoves. To me, that instantly tells me power, energy, electricity problem, wood-burning stoves. I realize my claims are a bit ridiculous, but my intent is not really to be believed. However, if I had an opportunity to talk to a time traveler, I might ask questions like, how exactly does the singularity sensor measure the expansion of the inner event horizon, or why does the reality of multiple worlds support the religious dogma that there are no good or bad people, just good and bad decisions, or what were the political motivations that changed the U.S. Constitution? So he's saying that. Basically saying, here's some questions you should be asking me. In my experience, when it becomes necessary to convince someone what I do for a living, the only way to do that is to be related to them. Everything else is immediately written off as a parlor trick, even if they're standing in front of a cooling distortion unit and I show them a dollar bill with the year 2029 on it. In the last few months, I have had numerous extended conversations online, and there are quite a few things I've said which can easily be checked out, but haven't. I get no pleasure out of being right when it comes to CJD disease, the war in the Middle East, or suffering people in faraway lands. There's nothing like the look on someone's face when you tell them 100,000 people will be dead tomorrow. In my travels, I have discovered that most people really don't want to know about the future because if it's different than what they want, it ticks them off. And actually, I don't blame them. Let me just back up for a second. Posted January 29, 2001. Almost a year in advance of 9/11, right? 10 months, whatever, away from 9/11. 8 months. 8 months before 9/11 was the Middle East. Should the Middle East have been on anybody's mind when he made that comment? Not even kind of. Resounding no. Absolutely not. No 9/11, no invasion of Iraq, nothing. Everything was good, right? So for him to say, I get no pleasure out of being right when it comes to CJD disease, which is essentially mad cow disease for humans eating meat, war in the Middle East, or suffering people in faraway lands. There's nothing like the look on someone's face when you tell them 100,000 people will be dead tomorrow. Anyways, next paragraph. The same post. The means by which I travel in time is very physical. I require a machine to do it. It weighs about 500 pounds and gets quite hot. I do not own it, and I did not build it. Within limits, I will be happy to discuss how it works and how future science thinks time works. No, we have not completed string theory yet, but N10 seems to work pretty well. As far as the future goes, your world line is about 2.5% different than mine. This is a roughly cumulative measurement based on my arrival in 1975. As far as I can tell right now, you are headed toward the same events I would call my history in 2036. However, the very nature of time travel states that every world line is unique and you are very much in control of what you do and how you get there. Heck, the fact that I'm here makes it different from mine because he didn't exist on his world line the way he is on ours. I have nothing to sell, and there is nothing I want anyone to do. For all other time travelers out there, I have no test for you, and I enjoy discussing your feelings and experiences after the war. To everyone else, while I'm here, I am very interested in your philosophy, religious outlooks, and speculations on technology. So then, is that the same day? 29th of January 2001. Someone asked him the question, are the Olympics still being played in the future? As a result of the many conflicts, no, There were no official Olympics after 2004. I don't know why I was thinking 2008. However, it appears they may be revived in 2040. I want to just start with that first piece. As a result of the many conflicts, there were no more Olympics after 2004. How many conflicts are going on now versus years ago? And by that, I'm not just talking about what's happening in the Middle East only. Venezuela is in practically apocalyptic scenario, apocalyptic scenario right now. I've showed you the videos. I've showed you the pictures. The food isn't there. People are flipping out. It is like literally an apocalypse. Brazil, massive change over there. Corruption, fraud everywhere. They're throwing politicians out left and right. They're going after the president. Argentina, while you don't hear much about it, it's not, isn't in great condition right now either. Let's look at the whole EU. Countries are threatening to leave. You've got the immigrant crisis happening all over the place in the EU zone. There's some conflict here today that wasn't even kind of around even just a few years ago. Okay? So that's where my mind goes when I read that. As a result of the many conflicts, no, there were no official Olympics. And many of these conflicts are actually affecting Brazil, which is where the Olympics should be held this year. Firsthand they're affecting Brazil. Why are there only 2 windows of opportunity for you to go back? Does this have anything to do with the weather? The weather isn't a factor as much as gravitational tidal forces are at the point of arrival. Someone writes, I disapprove of war because I think it's immoral. What do you think? He says, I disapprove of murder. Man as a species is incapable of changing his nature through will alone, and war is a tool of biology. The ability for war sleeps in each one of us, and we must decide what we will do before the beast awakens. As for morality, again, I point to the universal balance of good and evil. For every world line where there is peace, there is a world line that has destroyed itself. I just want to skip over some, see if there's anything interesting. Kind of goes into the time travel stuff, the machine. I'll save this for another day. And when I say other day, I think it might be another day this year, right around the time Brazil should be having the Olympics. Should that not happen? Because it could still happen. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of talk about it, whatever. Still happen. They'd still go on with the Olympics, whatever. But if it doesn't happen, that's all I'm concerned with. Because I'm not sitting here making some kind of prediction. I can't do that. I don't have some kind of special knowledge to make a prediction like that. But reading that from the year 2000 and 2001, which is when he did his posts, that particular one was from 2001, early January, late January, in other words, early in the year 2001. For him to say those things, wars in the Middle East, and we're all like, what? I mean, back then we would have been. 2001, man, everything's good. Talk about Saddam Hussein from 1991, the Gulf War, whatever, or 1990, whatever the hell it was. Dude, that was 10 years ago. Like, why? I mean, think about how long ago it was. Dude, that's 10 years ago. What the hell is this moron talking about? War in the Middle East, 100,000. So a war in the Middle East did come, and I remember hearing personally, well, actually, I have to take that back. The first Gulf War, I remember hearing them talking about all those Iraqi soldiers, basically white flags. We, like 100,000 of them, we quit. We surrender. That's not 100,000 dead tomorrow, as he was saying. I don't know where that come from because I haven't heard of any stories. Have you? Of all of a sudden, 100,000 people just died in the next day over some event. And for the fact, well, not for the fact, but the fact that he's specifically talking about war, Middle East, and then Doesn't give them a good feeling to tell someone that, hey, by the way, tomorrow 100,000 people will be dead. I don't think we've had that event yet, now have we? And by the way, I'll just go ahead and end this video now with, did you know there's another oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, not from BP, but from Royal Dutch Shell? Supposedly not as bad as BP, yet very close to the proximity of the BP oil spill. As soon as I read it, I thought to myself, again, my mind goes places that it used to not go until after I discovered everything's a freaking lie, corruption everywhere. Everything is lied right to your face. The whole BP oil spill was a lie right to our face. They kept replaying the camera footage. Remember that one? Oh, look, wait a minute, that fish swam by, keeps swimming by at the same time. You guys are playing a feedback. Oh, sorry, we'll go live. We'll go live. Right. So should we believe Royal Dutch Shell that it's only 90,000 gallons? There was a 2-mile by like 17-mile or 13-mile sheen of oil, the Gulf of Mexico, near the old BP oil spill site. So my mind went straight into, I wonder if Royal Dutch Shell, in other words, is it possible that the BP leak came back and they dare not tell everybody, oh, by the way, you remember that thing from 2010? It just blew again. Not as bad, but it's leaking. It's leaking again. We don't want to hear that. There ain't an American citizen in this country that wants to hear that at all. But you would be more accepting of, well, it's not BP. Settle down. It's not BP. It's Royal Dutch Shell. They have a nearby platform. They've shut it down. Everything appears to be okay. That's what you'd rather hear. Oh, thank God. Because if you hear that again, you knew what nightmare that was. So that's where my mind went right away. Are we being lied to right off the bat? Honestly, based off of the history of these people, government officials, the club, whatever, yes, they lied to us. So whatever I just read, something about it is a lie. A, it's not 90,000 gallons of oil. It's way more. B, it's not even their side. It's the BP oil site. It's leaking again. Something is amiss here. That's where my mind goes. I will be shocked if by chance, oh yeah, they shut it off, all's good, they're cleaning it up, which they said the recovery's on it. Right now we're cleaning up, no big deal, we got this. Allegedly. It'll remain to be seen if that's the case or not. Take care.